What's up, everybody? It's your boy Josh Wyles. Listen, I apologize. I know we are a few minutes late. We've been having some technical difficulties, but we made it. Awesome. So welcome to tonight's webinar. It's October the 8th, Wednesday night. As you guys know, any of you who are brand new to the secret community, or maybe you've been around for a while for the last few weeks, I know we've been having these webinars on a Wednesday night weekly basis, and we've had some incredible guests. I mean, we've had everybody from Dr. Christopher Ho, board certified dermatologist. We had last week brand new red diamond agent, and I think he's a $750,000 ring earner, Mr. Kai Wynn. And tonight, I'm really excited. Tonight we actually have, I'm going to introduce you to, I know for sure one,
Josh? I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Hello?
Pati, can you take over at all? Can you hop in there? Can you just let him know that well, no, if Patty hops in, if Patty's coming up in, then I can't fix her. Okay, you're right. Okay, go ahead and hop in. I mean, do you think, Josh? Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I'm trying to load it right now, bro. Okay. I'm so sorry, man. My hands are sweaty. It's all good, brother. We're good. It's all good. It's all good. All right, I see you, Patty.
I think we're live. I don't know if anybody can hear me, but we're bringing someone on. Somebody had some technical difficulties, and we're still going to continue with the webinar. Just give us 1 second. At least you know this is live, right? Life is messy, but we deal with it and we move on. So we're going to have somebody else join us here on the call just momentarily. First off, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys for dealing with this with us and just giving us some time to, get everything set up here. Just give us 1 second. And, first off, welcome to every single person that's here on the call, and we'll get just squared away in just 1 second. I think you guys can hear me. Sorry about this, guys. Oh, I think we have somebody coming on.
Are we good? Patty, we good? Hey, you there? Yeah, I'm trying. Okay. What happened?
It says we're live.
We're live.
All right.
Are we here? Are we good? Are we live? We ready to rock and roll?
We're live.
All right, perfect, guys. Again, we were just having some technical difficulties. Forgive me. I'm going to speed this along. So like I said, where I was at before, I followed this path growing up that I was taught, just like each and every one of you, we were always taught the way to have a great life, the way to be successful, the way to be ahead is to go to school, get an education, then get a job and work for your boss for however many years, work your way up in the company. And that's what I did. I was 26 years old. I was 25 years old, actually, and I was a police officer at the time. I'd been a police officer for almost 5 years. And I can tell you this. I started that job earning $30,000 a year with a wife and 2 kids. That leaves you on welfare. And when I left that job, I was still only making $30,000 a year. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, and the information that you guys are going to be exposed to tonight as I get the chance to interview these amazing leaders and friends of mine is information that I heard just under 2 years ago, and it's completely changed my life. It helped my wife and I go from nothing, no income. We had $1.75 to our name in our bank account, and we were able to, since in less than 2 years, earn well over multiple 6 figures. So it's absolutely changed our life, and a big reason for that is this cabinet ambassador I'm going to introduce you to right now, Miss Pati Macpherson. Pati, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I am. If you would just go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Just introduce yourself and let us know how awesome you are.
Thanks, Josh. First off, to all of you guys here, sorry for the technical difficulties, but I don't know if you guys heard me earlier or not, because we can't really tell. Well, I can't tell from here, but at least it's live, and life is messy, and you have to take things as it comes with you. So, but for every single person watching this all over the world, I'm honored and privileged to get a chance to share my story with you guys here today, and probably my husband will join us in just 1 second. He's coming in from the airport. Yeah, I got introduced to this industry, this professional. I was working full-time at a chiropractic office. I was going to school full-time, like Josh said. I was going to college, taking over 15 credits, doing the thing that everybody said you should do, go to school, get good grades. I did that. I was at the top of my class all through graduation in high school. I was in the, the dean's list, everything. And but I started looking around and started looking at the people that have what I wanted, and my friends that were graduating from school, were they working in the fields that they studied, and just everything in general. And I also was working 2 part-times in the weekends, living on my own since 18, and I started. I thought to myself at one point, I was like, well, I'm working 3 jobs, I'm going to school full-time, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm 22 years old. I'm tired already. If I have to do this for the rest of my life, for the next 40, 50, 60 years, I don't want to. I mean, this is tough, and I didn't even have a family to support. So for all you guys that have families and kids, and for you parents, I congratulate you, because with 3 jobs, not being able to support one person, which is yourself, I don't know how you guys do it. But then I got introduced to this profession, and it's just been a wild ride ever since. It's very different to work on your own, but it's definitely a lot more exciting and fulfilling than going to that regular 9 to 5 and building somebody else's dream. So I'm really excited, and haven't been as excited since for a long time. Things got to secret, and for all of you guys here watching this information here today, it's definitely a day that can change everything that you do on a day-to-day basis. So I'm just excited to be here with you guys today.
Awesome. So Pati, 100%. I mean, you're young, right? How old are you?
Can't tell you. No, I'm 29.
29. Okay, so you're barely a year ahead of me. And before network marketing, before entrepreneurship, the business opportunity that we're graciously a part of, you said you went through normal life like everybody else. You went through the school, you worked, you were trying to put yourself through college, graduated top of your class. You were just tired. And I know you had some experience and some success in network marketing before Secret. I want you to share with us a little bit about why you chose Secret. And here's the thing, guys. Somebody who had already graduated at the top of her class, 29 years old. She's been a part of Secret now for just over 3 years, and when she joined, obviously she had almost her whole life ahead of her. She's 26 when she joined, still the majority of her portion of her life ahead of her. Pati, I want to know why you chose Secret. What about Secret stands out? Why did you see it as a home that you could really plant your flag in the sand and build something for you and your family to come?
It's a good question. I think, part of it was I was already using their products. So for 2 years, I was stopped at the mall. They demoed the products on me. I said, wow, and I walked away with products, and I used them for 2 years. So when I was contacted by my sister and she showed me the opportunity of Secret, well, I already loved the products. I just had to see if the opportunity was something that I wanted to do. I've never worked with skincare before. I really didn't know anything about skincare. I did the basics, and not even that. You stripped down the basics, and that's what I was doing. But I understood 2 things when I saw this opportunity. Number one was the products work. And obviously it had worked on me because I paid retail price for it. Number 2 was that when I heard the story and why they were doing the transition, and I got a chance to meet the BenchAbot family and where they were headed, I just wanted to be a part of it. I had worked a lot of different jobs. I've been working since the age of 15, and I did a lot of different things. I sold cell phones, I sold clothes, I worked at a chiropractic office, I worked for promotions. I mean, I did a lot of different things, and at the end of the day, it was always the same. I think that I joined this opportunity in this profession for what we all join. We want to have access to our time, and we want to dictate how much we want to earn. When I started working at the chiropractic office, when you go to a job, they tell you how much you're going to earn, basically how much you're worth to them, which is not a bad thing. Obviously, if they pay me $10 an hour, that's fine. But I worked there for 4 years, and when I left, they stopped paying me. And I was like, well, that doesn't work. I mean, that just seems like I'm going to be in this wheel just spinning it all the time, and I'm never really going to get to what people are promised, eventually retirement. That was number 1. And so I wanted to work something for my own, something that that I didn't have to go work for somebody. I was going to school for business, international business, and one of my mentors told me, follow the people that have what you want, and do what they did, and you will have what they have. And I know that sounds a little bit cliche, but it's true. So I went to my business professor, and I asked him how many businesses did he own. Didn't really like the answer to that. And so I was like, why am I learning from someone who hasn't even done what he's teaching me? It's all philosophy. And so that's one of the major reasons why I saw myself in this profession. Apart from the fact that, here you actually get a chance to dictate how much you want to earn. I come in here, you and I, we have the same opportunity, we have the same products, we have the same comp plan. It just really depends how hard we actually want to work to earn the money that we want to earn. And so it was a combination of a lot of different things about why I left that world, because I didn't see anybody that was following that achieve what they wanted. Maybe some of my friends did graduate and they made good money, but they didn't have any time and they weren't happy, and they were always complaining about Monday. And I'm one of those people that I always want to do things that I'm enjoying. I always want to be happy, because if I have to live for the next 20, 30 years doing something that I'm not going to be excited about, what's the point? I might as well just make less money. And also, you know, coming from an immigrant family to the U.S., I saw my family working really, really hard, never having really the chance to retire. And most of them that worked for 20, 30 years for different companies were now being laid off with nothing to fall back on. And I was like, well, that's definitely not. So this, when I started here, I didn't make it my plan A. It was like my plan B, but then quickly it became my plan A just because of the potential and the security that you find here more than you would consider at a traditional job because they're paying you. So just the products were amazing. When I decided to join Secret, I saw where the future was going. They were already successful. They've already sold $1 billion. So obviously it was a product that worked and people wanted it. They had a global footprint. And the people that I saw myself having a chance to surround myself with and partner with, you know, it was just an opportunity that I couldn't pass by. So those are some of the reasons why I decided to not only join the profession, but at the same time then partner with Secret within the profession.
For sure. And so when you were talking about, you saw the advantage of, you know, the timing, and the company had already done $1 billion in sales. They had already had a global footprint, and the Ben Shabbat family, and the incredible products. But I remember something you said, and I can relate to it, because when I first got into skincare, you know, I didn't know I said no to my sponsor for close to 7 months when he was trying to share this opportunity with me. I said, no, it's skincare. I don't know the first thing about it. You know, newsflash, I'm a guy. At the time, I'd had some professional kickboxing fights. I like what you said. You said that if you use, you know, just the basic skincare, whatever that is, rough that down, and that's what you were using then. But you still saw such a big potential with this opportunity to create a long-lasting customer base, because when you were saying that long term, you just wanted to have something that's going to pay you good money, but also give you that free time and freedom. And anybody that knows anything about network marketing, we understand that to get that, it's that customer base. I want to know specifically, you know, I'm curious, what are some of the specific secret products that you love, that you recommend, and I guess, in other words, what about our products is different in the sense that we can really build a lasting customer base? It's not just some recruiting game and some, you know, sign people up scam. We really have a real product that people want and will buy. Share.
For sure. So that I was, when I mean like the basics, I just had a face wash and a moisturizer. That was pretty much my regimen. I didn't know anything about skincare or serums existed or any of this. But I saw the opportunity for one reason. You know, for all the people watching this webinar here today, a simple question, you know, like how long have you been using the same shampoo or the same deodorant or the same soap? And when you go to the store and you don't find that particular brand that you are so used to using, do you go to a different store and buy it? Do you wait till it comes back? You know, we're so branded to it. And so I didn't know anything about skincare, but when I saw Secret, I realized that all I wanted was a bunch of Patis, and I'll explain why. I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't use a lot of products. However, I used the same skincare line, which was a moisturizer and a face wash, for almost 7 years. And why? I don't know, because that's the one I started with when I started using face cream. You know, it was the one that somebody referred me to, or the one that smelled the best, or the one that I was attracted to when I walked into the store. And since it didn't do anything bad to my skin, I continued to use it. So every time I went to the store, somebody was getting paid, right? That company. So when I saw Secret, I just thought about the same thing. I said, well, what if, you know, somebody that loves Secret just buys a bar of soap, and they don't even buy it every month. They buy it every 2 months or every 3 months or every 6 months. It doesn't matter. All I want is people that love our products, that continue to buy it on their basis, and every single time they buy that bar of soap, I get paid a percentage of that purchase. And that's the part that made sense to me, because yeah, maybe I just, you know, get a bunch of customers that get a bunch of soap and that's it, which is not what happens when you try our products. However, if that was the case, if I found people just like myself that also had that mentality, that wanted to share the products, and people that were using them, I saw the residual base being created there. And I'll tell you, I was just like you. You know, when my sister first reached out, even though I liked the products and I was already buying them for retail, I told her, I was like, you're crazy. I was like, I would never do skincare. I've never done skincare before. They got you, you know, how much money did you spend? I was the same. It was 2 months of them talking to us before we decided to actually take a deeper look into what secret actually was. So for those of you guys on the line here that you know, that has happened to you, don't give up. You know, it's just the process. We don't really understand it, but once people understand it, you can see the growth really happen after that. But that was just a little bit about me. I just saw the vision of a lot of people using some soap, and that was all that I needed in order to see how big it was, and especially knowing that it was already a $1 billion company.
I love it. That's awesome. So basically what you're trying to say is for sure our products are unique and they definitely work. You would say that for sure, wouldn't you?
Well, you know, I was going to be like, well, look at my skin. No, you can't. No,
I tell you
absolutely.
what, that does bring us to the next question I think everybody's itching to hear is obviously, you know, we take this young girl, graduated college, you know, you studied some international business, you've been working since you're 15, immigrant family. You don't even do basic skincare. You take the basics and rough it down. Yet in about 3 years, you guys are earning over $500,000 a year from home. I mean, I did the math on that, and that's over $40,000 a month average for 12 months from home. I want to know how are you getting compensated? How are we getting paid? How is Secret paying out?
Well, I think that not knowing anything actually worked on our behalf. Just because, you know, my first presentation that I did was the most horrible presentation ever, so don't worry about that. And the reason why is because all I did was put out the products, let people play with them. They obviously, if you use them and you put it on and people see the results themselves, which is what's so unique about Secret, then when people see the results, then obviously they're selling themselves. You know, when their wrinkles disappear or their bags disappear or their skin tone changes, I don't have to say, well, that's because of the peptide technology and this and blah, blah, blah. I don't have to say anything. They're seeing in a mirror, and that's all that you need. People want to be sold by what they see. So I think not knowing anything actually helped us a lot in being able to grow so quickly. And another reason was because we were so sold out on where this was going, we didn't really care a lot about the no's or the negativity. We just were like, okay, we just need more, you know, who can we put some mud on? Who can we put some mud on? And that's basically how we did. We just did it through presentations. We were in a lot of living rooms our first 90 days, my husband and I, and it was just putting mud on people. That was the secret. Why? Because, again, people are sold what they see, not by what we're saying. And so that's one of the major reasons why we saw such a quick success, because then that just duplicated. You know, the people that saw the vision the same that we did, all they did was put some more mud on people, let them see the results on their own, sell themselves, and when people sell themselves, they're more convicted. You know, the people that are here watching this webinar, when you saw the changes that happened when the products were put on your face, you know, you didn't have to be like, well, let me go home and check. You saw it already. And if somebody told you the product doesn't work, you can be like, well, look at my picture. So they can't take that away from you, so you already walk away with a bulletproof attitude.
Wow. And
we have an addition to the group.
My man, what's up, Jesse?
Hey, John, how are you?
Let me take a second real quick before you start speaking. I just want to say something about Jesse, man. I've had the opportunity to spend some time with this guy on multiple occasions. It's never a long period of time at a time, but it's short periods of time over the last couple years. And I can say, man, like, I learned something new from this guy every time, but it's like the last time we were talking, I think was back in May at our last event in Salt Lake City. And it's like, Jesse's the kind of guy you don't have to talk to every single day. You don't have to be, you know, all buddy besties every single day. But as soon as you get back in touch with this guy, it's like we pick up right where we left off. So I want to welcome $500,000 ring earner, cabinet ambassador, Blue Diamond agent, Jesse McPherson. Real quick, just to get everybody caught up, I know we still have a little bit of time here. If you could, Jesse, tell me a little bit about what you did before Secret, why you guys are having so much success, especially with you being a man. And I was getting ready to ask Pati this question, but tell me a little bit about your team. Like, are you guys, is it just women having success? You guys have some guys having success? Just tell us, talk to us, man. Give us the dirty details.
Awesome. Well, it's so good to see you, Josh. I miss you too, and I apologize for being a little bit behind here. I was coming in from Toronto today, so to the entire Canadian organization, it was so good to see you here over this last week, and my plane was delayed on the tarmac. We were taxiing for about an hour or something, so I apologize for being a little delayed. But yeah, my background is I had a background. I actually graduated from Harvard and Yale with a background in skincare. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. I I taught dance classes. That's what I taught hip hop classes in LA. That's what I was doing prior to this profession. And it was 2002. I was introduced to the home business industry by a student. It was a woman who took my dance class, Laura, and she changed my life. And I fell in love with the ability to be able to develop a passive residual income. And I love the personal development, the growth aspect, and the ability to be able to dictate your future. And after 9 years in a previous business, we decided it was time for something else. And luckily, we found Secret, as you guys, I'm sure, have probably heard the story, and jumped on board, and we just started slapping mud on people a lot, and that was a lot of fun. And it was it grew very quickly. As far as being a dude, yeah, I mean, I think it honestly made it simpler. It's funny because I didn't. When I sat down with a woman, they were very open to, trying skincare products, and I could just say, listen, this is what you know. I'm a dude. You're a woman. You know more about this than I do. So I could even play on that. Secondly, I would tell them, I said, listen, I know if you get these products with your girlfriends together, you guys are going to have an absolute blast. And they were like, yeah, of course. And so that was kind of simple. As far as sitting down with a guy, I remember when it was approached to me because I was introduced to Secret by a guy. It was my brother-in-law in Chicago, Fabian, who called me, and I remember being like, dude, I'm a dude, why are you calling me about makeup? I don't understand why this is happening. Like, am I the only one that thinks this conversation is weird? And one of the things that I would say in introducing, especially men, to Secret was separating cosmetics from skincare. Obviously, nobody thinks about Proactive as a woman's company. It's a company to help for acne. It's a skin company, and there's so many different products that are out there, whether it be Old Spice or Dove, that are advertising towards men today. And I don't know a guy that's trying to look older, faster, uglier, quicker. So, but regardless of which, it's more so, I think, when people use our products, whether you use a little bit or a lot, everybody's using it. But one of the things that I talk to guys about is I don't wear Victoria's Secret, but I wouldn't mind owning one. So that might not be a bad idea. But I also talked to guys that said, hey, have you ever bought anything from Victoria's Secret? And what's funny is almost every guy on the planet has bought something from a woman's store. And I'm saying, why did you do that? And they said, well, I was buying it for someone else. So interestingly enough, a lot of our skincare products are purchased by men, and it might be for the person they love or maybe someone they want to love. So the products are amazing. Everybody loves them, of course. And but as far as guys, yeah, I mean, a large portion of our organization are guys. In fact, probably the majority of our organization are actually men, which I didn't see it coming. I honestly thought it was going to be more. A lot more women, but it ended up being a lot more guys. I don't know if it's just the Secret Agent brand and it's sexy, and guys get to call themselves secret agents and play with mud and make money, and I don't know, maybe that's what it is. But
I like it. I like it. That's funny, man. You came in at a perfect time because we had just talked about the compensation plan, and Patty was talking about how you guys just went out there and really just did the presentations. You said it yourself, in living rooms, put mud on people. I want you to talk about how you got started. Which package you guys purchased. I know. And I told everybody 100 times because it's still, crazy to me that anybody could be making, especially crazy to a lot of people on the line right now, $500,000 a year from home, having these fun parties, you just jet setting from Toronto and back, all that. What did you do when you got started? Which package did you get? Because, anybody here tonight heard what Patty said earlier, and she said, how did she put it? Patty said that in order to be successful, you find somebody who's done what you want or has been where you want to go or has what you have, and you do what they do. And I don't know anybody else that could disagree. Nobody would disagree. $500,000 a year playing with skincare from home and all the freedom you guys have is amazing. So tell us what you did step by step, what package you get. Walk me through how you would get us started and why, if you don't mind.
I guess you've talked for enough. It was interesting. When we first got started, we didn't have all the things that we have today. We didn't have a comprehensive back office. We didn't have a jumpstart training. We didn't have a boot camp training. We didn't have academy training. We didn't even have a superstar program. There was no Royale program. There was no fast start bonuses. There was no blueprint. No online webinars. There was no online presentations at all. So there was no agent kit, Jim Rohn CD, roadmap to anything. We got an envelope with a few applications and a training CD. I'm pretty sure was in Hebrew. No, I'm just kidding. It was subtitled though. But it was a really fun time though, because it was the beginning of the creation process, and I think some people, that wanted everything handed to them. For us, we were just so excited to have products that people loved in the living room. But when we first joined, the best package was the Special Agent set, and it was $2,000, and it didn't have 40 samples of Recover in it, and it didn't have 2 magnetic masks in it, the M4s. It only had 8 packages of the normal product of Recover. So it was $2,000. And interestingly enough, when we first got started, we bought the Special Agent set because we wanted to make sure we had all the products for doing presentations. And when we first moved, we started doing WOW parties immediately. We did 2 for ourselves within that first week, back to back on one night, and then the second night. Actually, our second WOW party, the only time we could fit it in was actually on Halloween. We did our second WOW party on Halloween because it was the only time that we could fit it in order for us to keep moving quickly with our business. And then we started getting in the living rooms, and in the beginning we both did a few of them together, and then we had so many people get started, and we were scheduling their first 2 parties that we had to kind of divide and conquer. Now, she had a set of products, and we needed another set of products for me to be able to be in more living rooms or her to be in more living rooms. So we actually purchased a second Special Agent set to get us started, which was another $2,000. So we each had our own Special Agent set, so that way we could both divide and conquer and get into as many living rooms as possible. So within our first 90 days, we didn't really do any traveling outside of our backyard. We just literally kind of stayed and just popping in from living room to living room to living room to living room and getting people started and scheduling their parties and scheduling more parties and then more parties and just putting it on people and then sharing with people the vision of where Secret was going and the opportunity to be first, and that's how we got started.
Okay, so real quick, you said you guys spent $4,000, $2,000 for your product set, $2,000 for Pati's product set. You guys were dividing and conquering. You were making it happen. How, I know to a lot of people it's going to say, okay, first off, let me just clarify. Jesse's right. In the beginning, when we first started, they were $2,000. Now these Special Agent sets are about $1,500. I think it's just under $1,600 after shipping in the United States. Jesse, what's the word I'm looking for? How key was it to your success, significant to your success, was biting the bullet, having that skin in the game, buying the bigger package, and having all of those products?
It wouldn't have happened without it. I mean, it's interesting today just because for those of you on this webinar that have been business owners, a couple $1,000s to start a business is nothing. I mean, it's literally nothing. So it wasn't even a concept for us. And when you've been in business before, you understand these things. There's, I mean, I don't even care if you want to open up a lemonade stand. It's going to cost you $100 if you had to build the structure and buy the lemons and do the work to be able to go sell the lemonade. So for us, I remember being even 18 years old in Los Angeles, and I wanted to, go when I moved there to pursue my background in performing arts and dance and teaching. I had to go get headshots. So getting a photographer and headshots alone was, $300 if not more, just to be able to get headshots for me to be able to give to people in the hopes of them hiring me to be able to go on auditions to book something. And that was just part of the process. I just, I was looking to start a business where I was doing filming of classes and being able to sell the reels, and I had to get a camera. The camera was $500, and I ended up buying it. For me, I don't know. There's starting a business for a couple $1,000s and being able to be in profit mode immediately. I mean, the average business, whether it be a restaurant or even if trying to buy a franchise, most companies don't ever anticipate even being in profit within 5 years. Whereas here with our Special Agent set, with our system for success, you can be in profit in the first 28 days, and that's amazing. So I don't know. I guess it's just I don't understand why people are so willing to invest in everything but themselves. That's just something that I think is interesting to me. Like, you take school, like, what does one semester of books cost? Hundreds, thousands. And that's not even the class. That's just the books. And I just find it fascinating. We live in a society where people are willing to borrow money from friends, family, and the government to go tens of thousands of dollars into debt to make zero money for 4 to 5 years to graduate with no certainty if there'll be anything even available in their career field. I don't, and I'm not saying don't go to school. If the option is go to school, don't go to school, go to school. But what I mean is that if we're so willing as a society to do that, I don't understand why people aren't willing to invest $1,500 into a business that they can be profitable in within their first month and something that they can own for themselves.
I mean, fair enough, 100%. I get it, and for me, some of you guys know my story. When Heather and I joined, I told you guys earlier we had $1.75 for our name, and I remember we sold the TV on our wall to get started. And I know first I'm not telling anybody to go sell their stuff. The last thing I need is people posting on Facebook, "Hey, Josh on the webinar told me to sell my stuff." No, not saying sell your stuff. I'm telling you what I did, because here's what I know. My mentor said.
I'm telling you sell your stuff. Sell your TV.
Jesse said to. I remember my mentor saying, Josh, you gotta look for, you either gotta have the resources or be resourceful. And if there's people on the line tonight, Jesse, right now, who says, man, I really want this, I can be resourceful, I want to get started, it may take me a little bit of time to get started. What are the options? I mean, is there a way for them to get started? It may be a bit more affordable for them. Is there other options? And tell me about that call to action that you were talking about when you guys came out of the gate in the beginning. You just signed me up today. What do you instruct me to do for my first 28 days? Because I know there's going to be some people getting started here. There's new agents on the line tonight for the first time seeing this training. Just walk me through it, man. You just signed me up. What are my options? And what is my first 28 days going to look like if I want success?
I'll just say something really quickly. I think that, it's not about where do you get in, which obviously you need all the products, and like you did, you made an investment in your business which made you take it a lot more seriously. And but I would say the biggest challenge is getting started, getting yourself a package, going out there, for example, selling your TV, or going out there telling somebody that you're investing in yourself, you want to do something different. And the biggest challenge is that once you actually do that, because people are strange, after 2 days or 3 days your motivation goes down because you went back home, or you saw something, or something else caught your attention, and you don't even try. So you went through all this stuff to finally put yourself in a position to win, and you let it slide by because you didn't want to do the work that it took to actually get there. So it's not the problem about do you have the money or do you have the resources, because we can all go out there and actually find it. The biggest challenge is actually going out there and doing the work. And most people will not, or they sabotage themselves, and don't do that if you're here on the line today. If you make a commitment to build Secret, to be a part of Secret, at least give yourself some time to actually win. Don't sabotage yourself and not do the wall parties or do the activities that are necessary for you to actually do that. In the first 28 days, set a plan. Do 2 wall parties a week for yourself, for you to actually get your investment back. And not only that, for those people that you actually help get started in the business, do exactly the same thing for them. It's just duplicating the activity. It's not that hard. It was harder to actually wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and take a train in a blizzard in Chicago to go to college. That was hard. Not to go play with mud on and put mud on people. That's not difficult. But because it's different, because it's something that most of your friends and family members are not doing, because you're stepping out of the box, all of a sudden, once you realize, oh my gosh, I'm stepping out of my box, people freak out and they're like, I don't want to do it anymore. And then it's like, it didn't work. No, you didn't work, or the person that you're helping get sponsored didn't work. So just make sure that that's what you do. And getting started, my recommendation would be to actually get started. Buying a package and signing up and becoming an agent with Secret, it's not getting started. Getting started is doing the activity, inviting people over, putting that on people, and then you actually start to see results. It was really funny. I was at an event the other day, and I gave a game plan to someone, and I said, just schedule these many wall parties. And she's like, I scheduled 2 wall parties. And I was like, awesome. So how many people do you have coming for these wall parties? Well, I always schedule them, but I don't invite anyone. What? Who cares? How are you going to be successful? How are you going to sign anybody up if you schedule 2 wall parties every single week, but you don't invite anybody. That blew my mind, like mind blown. That made no sense to me, right? And I think that's what happens, you know. We text a couple people, we send some Facebook messages, but just enough to be able to say, I did it and nobody came, and put the blame on someone else. So, you know, just actually go out there and build a business. It's that simple.
If you, I mean, if you need to be creative, I know some people that said, well, you know, I don't have, you know, the 1600 to, I want to, but I don't have the 1600 to get started as a special agent. Then get started at a premium set. I mean, that's enough to get you to qualify for Superstar, and then upgrade as fast as humanly possible and be resourceful and figure it out. You know, I think the premium set gives you enough to be dangerous when you get out there. The basic set, you know, underneath that. So there's different ways to get started, and get with the person that puts you on this webinar if you're a guest here. To be creative and put it together a plan of action. I've always heard it said it's not where you start, it's where you finish, and one of those things that is important. But you know, when people are resourceful, they figure things out. And you guys have found, you know, money for things far less important for financial freedom. But as far as getting started, I would recommend you know, 4 steps. 4 steps, very simple. No, step number 1, become a special agent and get all your products. Step number 2 is to schedule 2 wow parties a week. 2 wow parties a week. Step number 3 is to have 3 guests per party. 3 guests per party. And step number 4 is to do that 4 weeks in a row. That would be the system that I would suggest for anybody getting started here today, or for those of you guys that might have signed up and haven't decided to actually do it yet or haven't committed yet. I would decide today to follow these 4 steps. So get your special agent set, 2 parties a week. Average party takes about 2 hours, and if it took you an hour to invite for each, that's only 6 hours a week. If you don't have 6 hours a week, I know where you can find it. Just go flip your couch upside down. There it is. All right, and then three guests per party. So just invite, and then 4 weeks in a row. If you did that, you'd be basically introducing 24 people to the secret product line. And if only 20% of them committed to this same system, you'd earn about $1,600. So you make your money back within 28 days. So that's how I would recommend getting started. And just to give a big shout out, for those that are looking to get started, you don't have to know exactly what you're doing. I was up in Toronto. I just did a party on Sunday with Sonny, and congrats on everything, Sonny. You know, became a bronze agent. He'll be, you know, one of the newest Royales here, and I know in Toronto. But it was funny because we were doing a wow party at his house, and there was a bunch of people there, and we were starting to do demonstrations. And I went to do the demonstration for the peeling gel, and there was only a little bit left in the bottom of the peeling gel. And it was one of those things that I went like, huh, that's why you're bronze, you know. And that's going to be, I think, one of my new things when someone says it's not working or it's not happening fast enough.
Let me see your peeling gel.
Let me see your peeling gel, right? And so, because if you can get to the bottom of that peeling gel, you're going to be bronze. You're going to be Royale, because you can't put that on that many people.
Maybe that's why I'm diamond. I don't think it has anything to do with me peeling gelling this all the time. That's funny, bro. I like that, man. So it really is that simple. Just getting out there, getting the products on people. So if you got me started, I'm in my process. I've committed to the special agent. Maybe I couldn't afford it day one. Maybe I did what I did. I sold the TV on my wall, bought the premium. But in that 28 days, I can come up with the rest of the scratch, right? Because I'm resourceful. I'm doing my wild parties. I'm having my success. Now I know we have these trainings. The whole crowd knows that we have these trainings on Wednesday nights. Most everybody knows. We're gonna have the phone. We have the phone call trainings on Sundays. And we have our events in some markets, our regionals on the weekends. Now we have a very special event coming up right around the corner. And I'm a new agent, or maybe I'm an agent who's really trying to get revived, or maybe I'm a prospect who's jacked out of my mind, fired up to see what this peeling gel is. What do you tell me about this event coming around the corner here in Phoenix, Arizona, Revolution Convention? I live in North Carolina. It's so easy for you guys, Jesse and Patty, because you're already making all this money and you live out there in Phoenix. What about me, man? What would you say to me when it comes to these conventions?
Well, I think that it's easy for us, and we are making all this money, and we already live in Phoenix because we did the things that most people don't do. And I would say if you want to be where we are, then you need to do the things that we did. It wasn't always easy, you know, it wasn't always simple. There were times when in the past where, you know, I would sign checks to pay for events, and I would run home and borrow it from my sister and go deposit it before people would notice that I didn't have enough money in my bank. There were times when you would go to some of these events and, you know, didn't have enough money to really go out and eat, so you would always say, I'm not hungry, and drink water. You know, I think we've all been there. And but it's simple now in most people's eyes, because they haven't seen what we had to do to get here, what we had to give up, what we had to risk, you know. And so, yeah, you know, for every single person that's watching this, we're talking about the Revolution Convention that's coming up in Phoenix. And, you know, most people, when you talk about events, they're like, oh, you know, I don't need to be motivated, or I know what those things are. And, you know, it's difficult to really express what you're going to get out of it. It's not just a place where you come and meet other people that are having success, which is actually one of the major reasons you should want to go. If I told you whatever it is that you're studying right now, or whatever profession you're in, or wherever it is that you're dedicating your time and efforts to, and I told you there was one event that where every single person that was making over $500,000 and higher were going to be in this one event where they will teach you everything about real estate, or everything about being a great attorney, or everything about being the most amazing doctor, or whatever it is that you're in, the best contractor, whatever it is, would you go? Absolutely. So, you know, when we start here and we say that we're having this event where every single person that's making money is going to be there, if that's what you want to get out of this business, then why wouldn't you want to go? You know, why wouldn't you make that investment? And so, you know, there's always a way. You always find a way. And I think that that was one of the biggest lessons I learned from this business, was to become a person, like you said, Josh, earlier, about being somebody who's resourceful. You know, there were times when you have to be creative. And, you know, although you want to be helped and you want somebody to find those solutions for you, and, you know, now being in this position, you kind of do it for some people and you feel bad and you're like, oh, you tried to help them. But I understood that you're taking away from them. Because those were some of the biggest lessons I learned. You know, if you find yourself right now where you're like, I don't have the money, or I can't take the time, or I have the kids, or I have to go to school, or, you know, whatever it is that you're going through right now, you know, finding a way to resolve that and become someone who's resourceful will give you the skill sets, some of the most the best skill that you can possibly have for anything in your future. Why? Because when a problem presents itself in front of you, you can be like, I don't care. I've solved so many of these different challenges. Nothing can stop me. But when you let little things get in your way and you're just like, well, I have the kids, I can't go. Well, they didn't give me time off work, I can't go. Then everything that is put in front of you, you're going to let it determine your path and your future and everything else. So, you know, I actually would be excited if you have a challenge. I would be excited about being that person that's resourceful, because that's what you hear stories about here. You know, when everything is simple, you don't get excited. Nobody makes movies about people that everything was simple to them. Nobody likes those kind of people. We hate those people, right? But so if you have an objection right now, or you have an obstacle in front of you, be excited about it. You know, be like, I like my obstacle. I will find a way, and then you'll know yourself as that person. So you need to be there for a lot of different reasons that we can't convey, because we don't know what you're going to get out of it. But after so many years of being in the profession and the industry, we've never missed an event. And every single time you go to one, you learn something new, something to take you from making $1,000 a month to making $5,000. The next one you go to takes you to $7,000. The next one you go to 100, 150, 200, 500, and obviously you get the point. So you always need them, because you're always listening from a different perspective. And as a new person, you just need to go, because we do a lot of fun stuff. So it's just, and you learn a lot. You increase your learning curve by a lot. So I would definitely say, no matter what, you need to be there if you're serious about Secret.
Perfect. Jesse, anything you want to add, brother?
Gosh, no. I think the only thing that I would give myself credit for in this profession is surrounding myself with people who had my answers instead of my problems. And, you know, at these events, this is where I had an opportunity to get around people who had the results in their business and in their lives that I wanted.
Bro, I don't mean to interrupt you. I want you to say that again. You know, this is something you want to write down. I've been around Jesse a million times, and I've never heard him say this before. This is one of those things that one of those times I just learned something new. So say that again, Jesse. You go to these events to surround yourself with what?
Get around people who had my answers instead of my problems. And it was one of the things that I think was really significant for me, because when I was, let's just say from a financial perspective, because there's a lot of areas that you need to become wealthy in outside of finances. But let's just take finances for an example. And if I'm struggling financially and everyone I'm in communication with is struggling financially, it's going to be challenging for me and the people around me to give me sound advice on how to get out of that, because we're all there. It's kind of like when you're stuck somewhere and no one's been on the other side of it. How to get out of it, is challenging. So, getting around people that were better than me, kind of smarter than me, faster than me, or had been where I had been and gotten through it, and can say, hey, here's how I got out of this hole that I was in. Here's some advice on it. And I think it's one of the biggest things and we call it associations, like birds of a feather flock together. You lie down with dogs, you come up with fleas. I've heard it said associations like elevators, they'll take you up or they'll take you down. So kind of be careful who you hang around. And, we say that to our kids, but the question is have we said that to ourselves as adults? Because our associations impact us just as much, if not greater, throughout our lives. So for me, it was getting around a group of people that was up to something, that was going somewhere, and that could actually be there to share with me how to get from where I am to where I want to be. And I don't know what's more valuable than that.
There it is. So long story short, be there. Be there, be square. So now comes another really fun time. I know, again, guys, I apologize for technical difficulties from the beginning. We now have Jesse and Pati Macpherson, Blue Diamond agents, over $500,000 ring earners, cabinet ambassadors, and now we're going to go into some question and answer stuff. So I'm going to ask this question to Jesse. No, actually, I'm going to ask Pati. I'm going to ask Pati this question. Pati, outside of spa parties, outside of the WOW parties that we do, and just so you guys know, if you're brand new, you've never been to a WOW party, this is your first exposure. A WOW party is simply what they said. You get your products out, you have your product line, you set on the table, you let people play with it, and you just show them what we're doing. It's very simple. Pati, outside of WOW parties, what are some other ways that you could expose people, you could build a business? This question doesn't say who it's from, but specifically asks, what's your opinion on Facebook, social media, online marketing?
Well, there's a lot of there's ways to pique people's interest. For example, this webinar. Some of you guys are brand new. You haven't really seen anything about Secret. We're talking. You're getting interested. Then we'll move you to the next step, which would be a WOW party. There's different webinars that you can do. You can use Skype. If you're talking to somebody long distance, you can do what we call the 5 walls in 5 minutes, a sit-down presentation. You meet with somebody on Starbucks and you show them 5 products. They say, wow. You do the presentation, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. They get piqued, we move them into a WOW party. But you always want to put product on people. It doesn't, the process may start somewhere else. It might not start at a WOW party, but you eventually just want to be able that you're demoing the product on an individual, because that's what's going to keep them the long term. And obviously, if we're all here, I don't want to just recruit a bunch of people that will eventually quit. I want them to fall in love with Secret so that even if they quit, they still keep using the products. It's a different mindset. Okay, in regards to Facebook, so there's a lot of different ways to pique people's interest. If I meet Jesse and we're in the plane together and we start talking, he asks me, what do I do? Obviously I'm going to tell him, then I'm going to put a little peeling gel on his wrist. I've piqued his interest, right? As long as I'm demoing. Something to captivate his attention. And in regards to Facebook, I think it's a great place to start, as in, for example, I'm originally from Chicago. A lot of my friends are there. It's a great place to start conversations and say, hey, what are you up to? What are you doing? Are you open to something? But, in regards to blasting things on your wall or or just pitching people directly, or if you're open to something, call me. Anytime you do anything that's public on your feed, I haven't seen much results with it because it's not special. It's not personalized. Think about it. Do in secret how you would want to be approached. Would you, if I post something on my wall that's open to anybody to comment, would it make you feel special enough for you to reply? If the answer is no, you probably shouldn't do it. If you want to talk to somebody on one-on-one. Personally message them. Start a conversation. See where they're at, and then eventually, if it leads to it, then you can expose them. But Facebook, because it is what it is, a lot of people use it incorrectly, and the challenge is that if all your friends and family members are a part of your Facebook, you're ruining your contacts before you even expose them. Because if you are posting secret all over your Facebook, and then you call me and say, hey, Pati, I'm really excited about something I want to show you, what do you think I'm going to say? Is it that secret thing? I'm already going to know. I'm going to prejudge it. I'm going to prejudge you. I'm going to just tell you I'm not interested. And there's no way you can convince me otherwise because I'm going to tell you that I saw this dead kid stuff on your Facebook. So if you're going to use Facebook, it's an amazing, amazing tool if you use it correctly.
Yeah, awesome. I would say it's a connection tool. So I've connected with a lot of people on Facebook and then use the high tech to move into the high touch. It's a relationship business, relationship marketing. You know, people, if you want to create a sticky business, the relationships and the demonstration. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the top 10 companies in the history of the profession of direct sales are all consumption-based daily product use products. So if we can get a chance to get products on people and try it, but I love it. This is technology we're using right now. So high tech, move it into high touch, and yeah.
Perfect. Here's actually this next question kind of piggybacks off that. This has actually Ben from Toronto, Ontario. Thanks for the question, Ben. Make sure, guys, that we have a few more minutes for questions, so make sure you're getting your questions in excuse me, the box down below. So Ben wants to know, guys, let's say you're talking to your prospects, you're on Facebook, you're building the rapport, and now you just said, Patty, don't just pitch them, don't just throw the stuff at them. What are some questions that you used to ask? What are your top? The specific question is, what are your top 3 peaking questions, or your top 3, interest-building questions that you would ask a prospect?
Well, you know, what's funny is that whenever you're talking to somebody, they'll give you the questions. You know, like when you say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while, what's new? They'll say, hey, you know, what are you doing now? Someone will be like, oh, you know, same old, or like I just got fired, or this or that, or I don't like what I'm doing. You know, they'll lead you for you to expose them. And but what I would say is, you know, would you be interested to look at something different? If you're not happy where you're at, do keep your options open. And depending on what they say, you just move them in. You know, show them a video, something that they can see, the testimonials. I mean, our opportunity picking video is awesome. You know, they get to see other people, other testimonials, basically everything we do in 11 minutes. And then right after they watch that, then you can ask them more like, well, what did you like from what you saw? Was it something that you were interested in? So as long as they don't feel like it was you only contacted them for that reason, everybody's very interested. They'll take the time to look at it because they're your friends. So don't just take the time to actually get to ask them questions. What's going on for them at that time? It doesn't have to be 20 minutes, okay? It doesn't have to take that long. You can chat with like 4 or 5 or 10 of them all at the same time if you're on Facebook. But they will, if you go long enough, they will lead you to that exposure. And it's very simple. Hey, you know, because they're going to ask you, what are you doing? And you're like, awesome, well, this is what I'm doing. This is what has happened for me up to that point. You know, I don't know if you'd be interested, but check this out. And so if you make it very nonchalant, they'll look at it, as long as that's the experience that they're getting.
So you mean to keep it social and not so much salesy? Is that what you're saying?
That's why it's called social media, not selling media.
Nice. I like that. I like it. So when you're talking to people, you're asking them.
Here's one thing I would add to that is I want to get it offline as fast as possible. I'm not interested in communicating online. The only reason hey, what's going on? Hey, what's your number? When's a good time we can catch up? You know, and then talk to them so they can actually hear the tone in your voice and the excitement in your voice. So, because you can't translate that through messaging. I don't care if you put it in all caps; it doesn't make you sound excited.
Facebook is easy. You can video message them right on the spot. They're already chatting with you. You video chat, they see you, they can see your face. Hey, what's up? I haven't seen you in 10 years. Take it to the next level. As long as they know you're connecting with them, that's what people want right now. Nobody connects anymore. And
then the only other thing I would say about that is if you're concerned about approaching them directly, use an indirect approach. For those of you guys that don't know what that is, on the blueprint, when you first get started, there's 2 direct is, hey, I got something I'd love for you to check out. You know, indirect is, hey, I was hoping you could help me out. You know, I don't know if it'd be for you, but you know, would you do me a huge favor and check this out? You might know some people that our product could be for, or our business.
Fair enough. So here's a good juicy question. It doesn't say who it's from, but let's say you have a prospect. I'm your prospect, okay? I'm your prospect for this question here, and I've gone through the information. I sat through the webinar, and I said, I basically, you know, Jesse and Patty, I've seen these things before. I actually signed up in one a long time ago and didn't make any money. And before I could even get my money back, it had passed my 30 days. So I lost money on these kind of things before. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is for me. You know, how does Blue Diamond agents, Jesse and Pati Macpherson, handle the I've done it before and it didn't work for me objection?
Just like that.
Let's see. I mean, it depends on the person I'm talking to. Some of the people, if you know, they're very competitive, I would challenge them. Some of the people that are there that it's more of a sense of nurturing. So I would start by asking questions. So for instance, if this was you, I would say, you know, Josh, well, let me ask you a question. When you signed up, you know, what do you think the reason was that you didn't, you know, you weren't successful? Was it because you didn't do the activities? Was it because you know, you didn't you didn't follow the program? Did you go to the meetings? Did you attend the trainings? Was it a lack of support from the people that introduced you? You know, they just signed you up and dumped you, and you never heard from them again. You know, so I would start by asking questions. Typically, every objection that I get today, I'm always answering with questions, because questions are the answers. So, and a lot of times what I found is I've had people that have given me that objection, and I said, well, why do you think it didn't work out? And then they were like, well, you know, I mean, I just didn't really take it that serious. And now I don't even have to overcome the objection. They just did it for me. So I would say, well, this time I think maybe it's time to be really serious. And they're like, yeah, you're right, you know. So, or maybe it was, you know, their support team, they're saying they're afraid they're going to sign up and no one's going to be there to support them. So now I know that I'm just going to talk to them about what I'm going to be there for them. That's a little bit. The other thing I would say is this is, you know, look, in your previous endeavor, in your previous business, I can give them some analogies or examples of how secret is very different. And, you know, maybe they work with a service company. I was like, so that's an intangible, so it's something, it's intellectual. I said, but here's what's great thing about secret is, can you see how if different than maybe what you experienced before, if you had to put these products on everybody that you introduced to whatever it was before, if they actually did, can you see how they would have been very excited about the product line, not just because they were being pitched on business or opportunity? See, what was so unique about Secret is I saw the product line network the business instead of the business trying to network a product. And, you know, when they can go, oh, that makes sense. But primarily it's just they just need to know that you're going to be there to support them and that they're going to be there to make sure that they're going to be okay. And sometimes I'll make a joke with somebody that's looking at it and say, look, I get it, you've tried before. You know, and you know, if they're married, you know, I say, did you marry the first girl you kissed? Probably not. You know, so you might have had to kiss, you know, a few frogs, you know, before you find your prince or your princess, along the way. So
I like that. So again, just being very social, asking them questions, and just talking it out of them. You know, just being straightforward and talking to them. I like what you said there. You said for the first time in your experience, you finally found a product that markets an opportunity as opposed to an opportunity trying, you know, is that what you said? Say that one more time.
It was the first time I'd seen a product that would network the business, meaning like people actually did a party and they wanted to do a party and invite their friends so their friends could experience the product, meaning that the products were networking the business side of it rather than the business trying to network, you know, getting people to consume a product.
Right, and then because in those kind of businesses, I know it returns. Patty and I were talking about it earlier. It turns kind of more into a recruiting game, and there's the product's kind of the afterthought, the back end kind of thing. That brings us into the next question. Let's say somebody has. Let's say someone has. I'm a salon owner, okay, and I'm in and out of my salon. I don't have a whole lot of time to be doing. You know, to be trying to recruit people. I've never done any recruiting. I've never done any sales. I love these products. I know for a fact I can share with my people in my salon. You know, what type of compensation are we talking about for a salon owner who's simply going to acquire a customer base through my salon? What's up? Am I going to be able to make any type of significant money, or do I just have to recruit my head off?
No, well, we've noticed and seen, we have people within the business right now that the majority of their income comes from preferred customers. They come from retailing the product. So obviously, if you go out there and you're able to recruit, your business may grow faster quickly because you have more people that are helping you promote the product. But eventually, you can make great money by referring this. It's a different concept. It's a different mindset. When you're selling in a retail base, you're thinking, how much money am I going to make from this water now? Because probably Jesse's never going to come back and buy this water from me, right? Unless you have somebody that's a continuous customer. With our preferred customer program, you may get paid a little bit less. However, he's going to know that he's going to be able to order this water from his house every month. He's going to be like, I'm going to order this water because I don't have to drive all the way to the salon, or the salon that I probably go only, once every 3 months. And so you have something that's continuous. And so the residual side of it, sometimes it takes a little bit longer for a business owner of that type to actually see. But once you get it going, there's great income potential in that sense. That's what I love about this business, and this actually adds to the question we had before, which was I was a part of a business before. My first company I joined was when I was 18 years old, and they only paid me to recruit. When I actually sold their services, I never got paid commissions. So after like 3 months, I quit because I wasn't getting paid. But I understood the concept, and I never prejudged things that I was participating in now because of that experience. When I'm talking to somebody that has joined something, I would ask those questions as well to know what their experience was, but at the same time it's the same thing. There's good and bad in everything. However, don't just stop looking because you had one bad experience, which probably didn't work. And it was the same thing here. It's like people want to get paid. If you're a salon owner, they want to see more of a break between the product and what commission they're going to get paid here now. But if they really get to see the power of the preferred customer and the residual, then they're obviously going to be more likely to recruit other business owners that see that same vision. It's just almost sometimes hard for them to see that because they get paid less. And we're not experts in salons because that's not our focus. We don't recruit salon owners. I've spoken to a couple of them, and it was hard for them to grasp that vision, which is why I don't even focus on it anymore. But there's people that will probably be successful in it when you talk to them from that perspective.
Okay, perfect. Anything from you, Jesse, to add?
No, I mean we have some salon owners that are earning a few thousand extra, so they're super happy.
From home, on the side.
Well, no, not from home. They're earning it from their salon.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah, doing their normal thing out of their salon, just outside.
Yeah, I mean they're from their customers are adding it at an added value service. Or the one thing I would suggest for those that I see that are effectively implementing secret products into their location is they have a sign that says, hey, like something like Dead Sea, experience, the ultimate Dead Sea treatment. Ask us for a free sample or a free demo. And they put that sign up somewhere at the front or somewhere so people go, oh, because people love free. So they'll train the receptionist or somebody that's scheduling things to say, hey, we have a new product. We'd love to give you a free sample to try it. And then once they demo, obviously our products work really well when demonstrated. So that's it.
Awesome. So guys, with that, I know we've actually gone a little over than we normally do because our technical difficulties. Jesse and Patty, I can't thank you enough for joining us on tonight's webinar. Before we go, I heard through the grapevine that next week we're going to have another secret agent on, another incredible leader, actually from your old hometown in Southern California, 7-figure ring earner, cabinet ambassador, Mr. Timothy Herr. Is there anything that you can kind of give the world, the viewers right now, about Tim? Tell me why people should be excited right now to go ahead and not wait till last minute next Wednesday. Go ahead and start piquing some people's interest and get them geared up for the webinar next Wednesday when Tim Herr's on.
Well, it's Tim Herr. We got the pleasure to actually work with him in Southern California when we got started. We actually didn't even know we lived not even half a block away from each other. And one of the things that we learned about this individual was he has the craziest work ethic ever. I mean, whenever we needed him, he was there. If we needed him at 2 a.m. in the morning to do a presentation, to do a sit down, he was happy about it. He'd show up smiling, dancing, doing whatever he needed to do in order to do that presentation. whenever we called him, even if he was in the shower, he would pick up and be like, you would hear the water behind it, you're like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm taking a shower. If his phone rang, he picked it up. And that's the kind of support that Tim Herr actually gave us when we first got started. And that's really the most important thing, you know. You will go through anything if you know that you have people that you can count on when you need them. And so, you know, I think that, and he's had a lot of success in the industry. I mean, he's made millions of dollars in multiple companies. So obviously, he knows what he's doing, and it's working. And so if you get a chance to get people in front of Tim, well, first of all, you're going to laugh a lot. You're going to definitely enjoy yourself because he's a blast, right? But you're also going to learn a lot. And your guests are going to be wanting to join Secret way before this webinar is even done, just because of what he's going to be able to share with you guys. I mean, he's been in the industry since he was really, really young, I think over like 20 years or something like that crazy. And his story is ridiculous where he came from. So, you know, anybody is going to be able to connect with him, and he's going to say something that is going to impact them enough to want to partner with us.
So for those of you guys who don't know Tim's background is not a lot. He actually was introduced to the profession when he was very young, and 17 years old. And he was in Southern California. He worked at a go-kart track on turn 7 and holding the sign that said "No bumping" with a pink vest. You know, to go from that to being a stay-at-home multi-millionaire dad is pretty impressive. So his story's amazing. What he's been able to accomplish, amazing. And the amount of people that I've met that would say, you know, Tim Herr was responsible for them getting started and becoming successful in this profession. There's a lot of people that could point to him.
Awesome. That's perfect, man. I'm pumped. So, guys, you heard it. Next week, Wednesday night, same place, same time. Please make sure we're booking our prospects on. And, guys, don't forget the call to action. Simple. S4S. Step 1, be committed. Be committed. Get your special agent kit. Step 2, 2 wow parties a week, 3 guests at each party for 4 weeks straight. Let's make this happen. I'll see you guys all in the webinar next week. See you guys all in Phoenix for the Revolution Conference, November 7th to the 9th, and much love. See you later.